TLDR, if you don't want to hear the long-winded explanation and intro, skip to about 420. I just want to open this with, I am not an authority on the Forever Winter, or really someone to, be making guides for the Forever Winter. I imagine there are people, vastly more qualified for it, but this is me throwing my hat into the proverbial ring. Anyways, on to the video. Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. As you can see, I'm actually opening up with text rather than gameplay. Who'd have thunk it? Anyways, the reason why I'm opting for a different take overall is due to both my recent successes, but mostly my failures in the tunnels and everything that's preceded them. So today's video will be 1. Character level guide. Admittedly, it's supposed to say character level end, like level guide, but I digress. Welcome to Project Depth Gauge, a general to in-depth guide to the tunnels and surface areas. On today's agenda, character level guide. Now, this is rough estimates, subject to change, and this is purely down to your own personal preference. If anything that I happen to say you agree with or disagree with, by all means, don't be afraid to send me some feedback. Anyways, onwards. So, today's agenda, number 1, character and level guide. So, levels 1 to 10, 1 to 2 tunnels, and extract out of the second surface area. Just a quick reiteration, if you find yourself having a good run in the first tunnel and say just want to extract out of the first surface area, by all means. Like, you are better off getting as much loot out of this as humanly possible rather than running, high risk at these lower levels. The reason why I've set that so early on in any potential run is because it really isn't hard for things to go south. Like, I'll actually read the text. Level 1 to 10, it is not hard for things to go sideways at these lower levels. Knowing when to leave is paramount, surviving with loot over death. Okay. 2. So levels 10 to 20, 1 to 3 tunnels, and extract out of the third surface area. Levels 10 to 20 again. Even with having these extra levels, the Forever Winter universe is an unforgiving place with little remorse to the brave and the overconfident. With higher / longer risk comes even greater reward, but also more potential for loss. And finally, levels 20 to 25 plus, 1 to 4 tunnels and extract out of the fourth surface area. So levels 20 to 25 again, full send, but at this point knowing / learning how to mitigate risk is on you as an individual. On the plus side at this point, you should be armed to the teeth / be able to bring high-powered weaponry. Unfortunately, I forgot to leave my mic running throughout most of this, so this will just be me talking over the gameplay and just touching on key points and trying to keep it more guide-centric. Here are the quests. And here's the loadout. Once again, Forever Winter Jank doing me dirty. I was thinking, or explaining throughout most of this, how can I keep risk to a minimum, but how exactly are you supposed to mitigate that? So I didn't have that much experience to work with, so ultimately I just opted to go with the enhanced rig to give me more potential for medical supplies, and drone components. Not a hell of a lot to be said other than, yeah, that death was really unfortunate. Ultimately, I opted to skip Tunnel A and move straight into the Scorched Enclave. The other explanation is because the video was running the risk of getting excessively long for what is essentially supposed to be a guide. This is just a quick a quick quest recap. Like, legitimately, I don't even know how the water thief escaped, or whether it was just, you know, Forever Winter jank leading itself in my favor. Still a close call overall though. Like, I was actually lucky to pull this off, considering, you know, current scav level. But yeah, it's like, that's kind of the whole point of this guide, is to touch on just how hard it is for a low-level scav to really make it through the game. Alright, at this point I was fairly deep into Tunnel B. I was fairly looted up and already been through, you know, through a few different tough engagements. So this is me kind of touching on risk mitigation and assessment. Admittedly, I did pretty well when it came to these snipes, but just off to the side behind that, you know, water, whatever that structure is, just to the right there, there's an exo, and that exo kinda had me stumped. Like, can work through patrolmen, can work through infantrymen easy enough, I can work through drones easy enough, and even with the grenade launcher I had on me, I didn't really think I had enough ammo to run the risk of actually trying to get past that damn exo. So, before too long, I ultimately chose to go and walk backwards and head towards the scrapyard rather than the extract that I perceived to be mech trenches, and trying to get the actual second portion of the quest done. At this point, I was on the way back to the scrapyard Nexus extract, and, you know, naturally I find drones. Because what else would I find? But yeah, just retouching on risk mitigation, because there was more than a few times recently where even when I thought things were 100% going my way, it really doesn't take much to bring down a low-level scav. So at this point, I wanted to extract with what I had left. You know, considering like I'm about 3/4 of the way full in terms of, you know, gear, I really wanted to I wanted to win for once. Anyways, onto the scrapyard. Ironically, when I went to take a bit of a further peek into the scrapyard, I ended up not really finding that much in terms of loot, but I ended up finding a lot of brawlers. And brawlers at this stage of the game should pretty much be able to one-shot me. So I opted for arguably the safest option I had available, and that was, you know, get what little I had found and essentially move towards extract, because I was choosing survival here. You know, knowing that, you know, you can see this brawler coming at me, and I'm like, well, shit, what do I do against that? Oh, wait, they're not so bad as long as you get headshots. But, yeah, I couldn't be 100% certain whether those Euruscan infantrymen had a grenade launcher or not, so this is me going, fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright, so total experience gain, 12,366, 2,700 on the R11, and 280 on the M79. His loot did alright, considering current scav level and quests to hand in. Alright, time for prestiging, and then handing quests, followed by experience application. Now, because this is a drastically different style of video to the ones that I've done previously, I'm really not sure how it's going to go down. Anyways, next bit is skill application. I always want to have a better rig, because better rigs equal more loot. More loot equals, you know, more experience gained, and, you know, get those drones up and running. At this point, if I had the extra experience, I probably would have gone for the extra 10% worth of stamina. In the same vein that, you know, having the extra 2% character speed or the extra 5% SMG accuracy is also good, but more stamina overall usually is the better option. Anyways, that's all from me for now. I hope you have a good day.